Hello, my friends. It's your boy Jeff, and this is what I think my second video of this year. I know. I know. If I have any audience left, and wouldn't be surprised if I don't, but just in case any of you are still out there and have my notifications on, how you doing? It's we're into July now. We just had July 4th, and yeah, it was an interesting day yesterday. Living here outside of Chicago, just had another mass shooting in Highland Park, which is north of the city, which is never fun. As for my own personal life, I've been working just insane hours. Out of the 4 people who do the job I do, that I share, one of them is out with a knee replacement surgery for who knows how long. It's open-ended, and it's summertime and other people are taking vacations. And when that happens, I have to work, 10 or 12 days in a row of 12-hour shifts. That's going to start again at the end of this week. None of this is an excuse, I know, but it's severely curbed my record listening. But I do have a small stack here to show you. And I haven't really been picking up that many new records, but I did pick this up on the Record Store Day drop in June. This is the Paul Butterfield Blues Band, the Lost Electric Tapes. It's a triple album. And sorry for the glare, I still got it in the sleeve. Bought this at Lunchbox Records, which is one of my favorite places to do like mail order from, since they're in North Carolina. It's the resident record store of John, the Digital Gramophone. And that's where I learned about it from, who I learned about it from. Yeah, I haven't played this yet, but this was really the only thing that I kind of sort of really had to get. So maybe if I make a video by Christmas, you'll see this again. I've seriously been wanting to do stuff. I know I had, different series going, like the 78 Cavalcade. I still have 78s that I can play. I've read a bunch of other Stephen King books, even though it has nothing to do with records. And I know that only interests a few of you. All that said, it is what it is. As far as concerts go, before I get to the other records, if you watch Emma over at 8 Vinyl Low, and you should, you'll recall her video from a while back. Her and I and my wife went to Buddy Guy's Legends and saw Buddy play. The opening act was his daughter's band. They were fantastic. And then when Buddy came on, the guy is 85, going on like 86 years old, and he just tore it up. I mean, he played for over 2 hours. I'd seen him before, in the 90s, back when, Legends wasn't such a thing, and he wasn't as popular even as he became now. And he would play just for like maybe 45 minutes or an hour, if that. Not this time. I mean, he was there for over 2 hours, and he just didn't stop. His voice is strong. His guitar playing is unbelievable, and his hands, I mean, it looks like he's got arthritis, because his hands look like they're pretty, gnarled up, but that doesn't stop him. He just blew the roof off the place. I have video clips of it. I don't know how to insert them in these YouTube videos, but maybe someday I'll show them to you. I don't know. But I got clips of him sitting. I was literally looking over his shoulder, because he'd sat at a table and was playing, and I just had the phone right there, and you could see everything perfect. Got a guitar pick. I got a signed poster. I got a signed photo. I got a t-shirt. Emma and I waited after the show and got things signed, because he signed literally everything for everybody. And I got a photo with him too, with masks on, because it was still kind of COVID-y back then. But unbelievable time. And then last month, took my wife to see Coldplay, and that was unbelievable too. It was at Soldier Field downtown, but the energy level on that show could have filled, 10 of those stadiums. They were fantastic. And I'm not a huge Coldplay fan. I mean, I like them. I know some of their hits, but I can't deny that they put on a really good show. It was well worth the money. And in about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, finally, after almost 2.5 years, I'm finally going to see Roger Waters. I bought those tickets in March of 2020, right before COVID hit. And the show was postponed that year, and then last year it was postponed again. But it looks like everything's going to go through this time, and at the end of this month, towards the end of this month, finally going to go. I told my wife we're not missing this show. I don't care. So I've probably seen more live music this year already, and I've only been to, this will be 3 shows than I have in a couple of years. So that's a good thing. All right. This is just some of the stuff I've been listening to over the past however long, several months. 5 Senses by XTC. This was an EP that was part of the surprise package that Legendary Jim sent to me. I'm not familiar with these songs. And so I've never seen these songs anywhere else. This came out in 1980. So I'm assuming it's around the Black Sea album time period. But it's XTC, so enough said. You know how big of a fan I am of them. Also a huge fan of Rory Gallagher. This was the Record Store Day, the one thing from the Record Store Day that in April that I just had to get. Live in San Diego 74. It's a double album. It seems like Rory's been getting a release like every year lately for Record Store Day, because I've got a couple of other albums of his that had come out in previous years. That's fine by me, because man, do I wish I could have seen him live. Yeah. You know how much I love Rory, so I can't say enough good things about him. This one took me quite a while to get through because it's a 5 record set. And this was actually recommended to me by Emma. I picked this up at a dig actually around this time last year when I met Eric Weinbender, and we went downtown in downtown Chicago when he was here for a wedding. And a couple other people, Lavelle and Vance also went with us. But I happened to see this at Reckless Records, and I remember Emma saying how great this set was. I mean, you can see just from the set list here, it's live at the Boston Tea Party, but it's a 5 record set from the Peter Green era of the band. So this is their blues band era. You know, you got Peter Green, Danny Kerwin, and Jeremy, what's his last name? I can't remember his last name. But you had the 3 guitar players. Fantastic stuff. If you like British blues, this will go down great. If you're a Fleetwood Mac fan, this will go down great. If you're a Peter Green fan, forget about it. So, yeah, it took a little while to get through because 5 albums is a lot of material. So I listened to it in stages, and it's just fantastic. I mean, the guitar work on this album is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Then, Neil Young has put out like 3 unofficial bootlegs. Or no, let's take that back. Official bootlegs. This is one of them. Royce Hall, 1971. I ended up getting all 3. And this is just the only one I've played so far. I know all 3 are kind of from the same time period, 1970, 71-ish, early 70s, and a lot of the same songs are going to end up on all of these albums. I don't care. It's acoustic Neil Young, and I love acoustic Neil just as much as I love his electric stuff. But man, listening to this with a cup of coffee, like on a Sunday morning, just kicking back, chilling, doesn't get much better. And the sound has been, sweetened, so it doesn't sound like a scratchy bootleg like it might have in the 70s. So, and these weren't that expensive. I think these were like $25 each, somewhere around there. I mean, for a new record these days, that's not bad. So maybe someday you'll see the other two show up in these videos. I have to make fun of myself because who else is going to do it? Disintegration by The Cure. This was my Father's Day, one of my Father's Day gifts last month. And this had been on my want list for quite some time. I'd actually had this album in my hand probably a year or two ago when I was doing some digging at a record shop. But I'd found some Stevie Ray Vaughan bootlegs instead, so I put this back. I'm still glad to have this. I don't know if any of you out there have the same problem as I do, but I almost never find Cure albums in the wild. I was actually surprised to find this in the record store when I did. I should have bought it then, but I'm too enamored of Stevie Ray. But anyway, this sounds fantastic. This is the remaster from 2016, I believe. I think this was 2016 remastered, which Tim, I think, is the one who said which one to get. And since my wife bought this and she watched your video with me, she made sure to get the right one. I love her. But I love The Cure. Admittedly, the only other album of theirs I have on vinyl is the Standing on the Beach singles comp. I would love to get more, but I just never come across them. So, very happy to have Disintegration. This album has such a psychedelic, trippy feel to it. It feels like everything slows down when you listen to this album. I don't know. I also don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that Robert Smith was tripping while he was recording this album. Which, it kind of explains the sound, because it does sound very trippy in places. But I love The Cure, and maybe down the road I can find some more. I will hope so. The new Elvis movie has come out, and I've got several Elvis records in my crate, so I pulled one just for shits and giggles. So I picked A Date with Elvis. This is it's not an original press. This originally came out in '63. I want to say this is a repress because I forget what my Discogs entry says about it, but I know it's not an original pressing. Kind of a greatest hits, sort of, up to this point in his career, in '63. Blue Moon of Kentucky, Good Rockin' Tonight. A lot of his early stuff is on here. You're So Square, Baby, I Don't Care. I think that was from one of his movies. But, it's Elvis. He's never really going to go out of style, is he? I would hope not. I think he gets knocked a lot, especially these days, for out and out stealing black music and making it popular. He's like one of the first and probably one of the biggest to do it. Yeah, I guess you can say that. You can make that argument if you wanted to, but for his early stuff, maybe. But once he became famous and, went on to other things like a movie career and whatnot, I don't know. I think he was his own artist after a certain point. So we love Elvis. I can't really say anything bad about him. And probably the one album that I've spun more than anything else recently that's new is the new Tears for Fears album called The Tipping Point. Yeah, hadn't heard from Tears for Fears for I don't know how long. Then out of the blue, they came out with a new album. Here's the back cover. There are the boys there looking, still looking good. But the music on this album is just top notch. And this was one of the few albums that once I got to the end of it, I flipped it back over and played it all again back to back right away. Love this album. I don't get enough new albums to really make a list of like best releases just because, but if I did, this would be near the top of the list or maybe the top. So it has that classic Tears for Fears sound, updated of course. Their vocals are still very strong. Their songwriting skills are still there. They still know how to craft great material. And the music is very catchy, you know. So Comeback of the Year award maybe, because I haven't seen any other like 80s band come back as strong as this in a while. So good for you, Tears for Fears. I wish I could have seen their show. They've been touring with Garbage as the opening act, which probably is going to make a great double bill. But yeah, if you haven't heard this album, if you're a Tears for Fears fan, get it. That's my recommendation for this video. So there you go. That represents probably the last 3 or 4 months of my listening. That's how little I've been playing records lately. I swear to God. So fingers crossed, we're going to try to do this more often. I miss you guys. I miss the interaction with VC. I keep saying I'm going to try to get out here more, and then it just never seems to happen. All I can do is just keep trying. I'll try to be out here more. I still watch videos. I don't comment all that much on them anymore, just here and there. But just know that for a lot of the, I don't know, I guess they'd be considered older members of the VC, the ones that have been around a little bit longer, like Mazzy, I still watched you. I'm not going to name check everybody, but I'm still around. I'm just like back in the cheap seats. So I'm going to try to get on stage a little bit more and try to interact with you guys a little bit more. We'll see. I should make videos at work. That's what I should do, but I would probably get in trouble. Yeah, I wish I could just bring my whole setup down to work, and so I can just play stuff while I'm down there, while I'm working, and just listen. That would be ideal, but it is what it is. All right. I love you guys. Peace out, and I will see you again soon, hopefully.